This is Joe Knetter, the Hanukkah Killer, and you're listening to Without Your Head.
Welcome to the station of decapitation without your head. I'm Nasty Neil, and I'm joined by horror actress of Automation, the upcoming Blind, and currently of Rootwood, which is out right now, Sarah French. It's very good to have you here.
Hello, thank you for having me, Neil.
Yeah, it's good to talk to you. I don't know if I've been in areas where you've been, like at Rock and Shock, but I don't know if I've ever talked to you.
Besides, that's right. Yeah. Rock and Shock. God, I love that show.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, and I did see you at the Hanukkah screening.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a great screening.
Fun. It was. Yeah, I forgot to mention Hanukkah as well. But yeah, that was my last time I was out in LA. I don't know when I'll get out there again with everything that's happening, but I had a good time out there.
Yeah, well, let's hope it's sooner than later.
Yes.
Because we want to get back to work. Jesus.
Yeah.
We're going crazy.
When I talked to Joe Knetter, for people who don't know or don't remember the interview a couple weeks ago, he said this was last year, not to start in a bad note, but he said this is a good note, will become a bad note. Well, last year was the first year that you guys supported yourselves strictly on movies, movie business. So how does this affect you?
Well, luckily before this whole thing went down, Joe, got a really good writing gig. So that basically is supporting us through this. But for artists right now, it's really hard because, we all live by, paycheck to paycheck. We never know when the next paycheck is coming in. So it's been a challenge, but, luckily we're doing okay. And it's a really tough time right now, and that's why we got to try to all support each other. I mean, it's so important. We're still buying, we're supporting musicians. We're buying records, CDs, downloading music, paying for it on iTunes and, buying movies, streaming movies on Amazon. It's so important to support the arts right now because that's what's getting us through this. Mm-hmm. Music, movies, it's keeping our mind off of what's happening in the world right now. And, it's so important to support that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, anytime it's shitty to legally download something, but right now, especially.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, do not do that ever.
Right.
Because that's what pays us. I mean, we need to make that money so we can keep, working in the arts and keep, doing what we can do to entertain people. We need that. Filmmakers need that. So, yeah. So anyway, anybody can support, the arts, music, anything. It's really important right now.
Yeah. So many of my friends, were in the same boat, either working movies and then a lot of people I know from the conventions, t-shirt
oh my God,
vendors,
yes.
They don't, they can't go to and sell. So they have to do the online sales. Or from what I understand, they don't do as many online sales as they do, at conventions.
Of course, because it's when you see it in person is you're like, it's a last minute thing. You're like, oh yeah, I want that. But yeah, especially online sales are really important right now too. And Amazon's, saying things are going to slow down for them, to deliver things, but they've actually we've been getting stuff in the mail, pretty regularly. On time, actually. So I think they're just saying that, but who knows?
Yeah, it's really only maybe a day difference. It's not really anything you
exactly. No. Exactly.
The only thing, Amazon, because I sell the Without Your Head shirts through Amazon, and so now they're not doing the merch on Amazon.
Oh no.
The wording is really weird. It's like you can add stuff to it, but no one can buy it because no one can see it. And then they're like, but we'll still send you the the money you get. But if no one can buy it, I'm not sure what money they're supposed to be sending me. But
shit. Well, God. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, Neil. I hope, they get their shit together.
Yeah, I guess it's just temporary until things are a little more normal, I suppose. But
yeah, and Good. And speaking of Amazon, I just got something in the mail the other day. I posted about it on my Facebook and Instagram, but Rootwood, I got my movie in the mail the other day, a hard copy DVD. Yep. Super happy about that. you know, it's great. It's great, you know, just having your movie in your hands.
Of course, yeah. Had you seen the finished movie before?
Yes. Marcel our director had a screening. Gosh, I'd say like a year ago, we had a screening for the, you know, the cast and crew. And, you know, he's really good about that. He's good about, you know, just when something's finished, having us all over, having a little party and, you know, being able to watch what we created, you know, and it's so great. I love Marcel.
Yeah, I had him on the show years ago when he was still in Germany when he did the remake of Blood Feast, which I thought was great. Oh
my God, that movie is really good. Really well done.
Yeah, and I have my doubts because I love the original Blood Feast and I love Herschel Gordon Lewis movies, and you know, it's like you remaking this because it's a very weird movie to begin with. But no, it was awesome. I loved it. And it was great performances by everybody. And it's cool to see him really, you know, he came to the States and now he's making a lot of movies all the time.
Yeah, Marcel's keeping very busy, and that's what we want to do. And, you know, I'm sure Joe talked about it on his interview, but, you know, kind of how the whole thing started was, you know, we're all just friends, you know, especially with Blind. You know, we were all friends first and foremost. It was our Taco Tuesday group. And, you know, everybody in the arts, you know, out here are our friends. So we're like, let's make a movie together. And then, you know, Marcel had a dream. And he came over to our house the next day, and I'll let him tell the story, but it's kind of how Blind started, was from a dream. And, you know, we kind of got talking about it at our place, and it kind of started, and, you know, 5 weeks to the day of of Marcel's dream, Blind kind of came about.
Wow. So I'll
let Marcel tell the whole story, but that's kind of just a quick version of it.
Yeah. So well, like you said, you let him tell the story, but so did he tell like the dream to Joe, who then wrote the screenplay?
Yes.
All right, that's very interesting.
Yeah, he had a dream. He wrote it down in the morning when he woke up blind, and he basically, it was, if I remember correctly, it was he dreamt about a girl being stalked in her house, and she was blind. So crazy, you know, I mean, that's kind of how things happen. It just, you know, somehow happens, and, you know, it all comes from somewhere. And, he told Joe about it, and Joe he stood up, crossed his arms. He does like this certain look. And I knew that hamster wheel was turning in his brain. He's like, we can do this. So I think he wrote the screenplay in like 5 days. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
That's pretty wild. So, yeah, when I was out in LA, I was out there for 2 weeks. 1 week we were making a movie, then the week was just going around doing stuff. But you could tell there's a cool horror community there, and most people know each other, and there's like little groups of friends who make stuff together. And it was really cool to see.
No, yeah, and it's so important, especially, you know, working in, you know, being an independent artist is, you know, you gotta just make stuff for yourself. Like, you just have to do it. You can't really rely on anybody else, you know, to make it for you. If you want something done, you have to do it for yourself. And that's, you know, you just have to use your resources, you know, have people that you can trust, you can count on. And luckily for us, it was, you know, a really wonderful group of friends that got together to do this. And, you know, it worked out. Did you get a chance to see Blind yet, Neil?
I have not. Yeah, I've not seen Blind yet, unfortunately. Okay. I'm looking forward to it. And I honestly, not because you're here, but all like the poster art and like just the graphics for it is very cool, because the guy, I don't know if he's the killer or what's going on, but he's very unsettling looking. He's very creepy looking.
Oh, yeah. Jed Rowan nailed it. He nailed it. He's a great character actor. He really brought that character to life, Pretty Boy. And I can't wait for you to see it. We should be having some good news about the film coming up pretty soon. So,
all right.
keep your eyes and ears peeled. I will definitely be talking about it. But
all right, very good. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to it. Yeah, a lot of cool people I like are involved. I know Michael St. Michael's has a small part in it, which he's been very happy for me to have you on the show. He's a big fan.
I love Michael. Mwah, mwah, mwah. He's so great. He was so great to work with. He's just so much fun, and I can't wait for everyone to see this movie. It's really great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Michael is great.
And you had Tyler Gallant on last week too, right?
Right. Yeah. Which you set which you helped set that one up.
Yes. He is in the movie as well.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's great in it. I mean, Tyler's an amazing actor. He really pays close attention to the character and really brings that character to life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So was this the first movie you made that Joe wrote the screenplay for?
No, actually, the first movie that Joe and I my first movie was actually a screenplay he wrote. My very first movie. That's kind of how we met.
Okay. Yeah, I think he told me that. But yeah.
It's called a Pajama Party Massacre. Please don't look it up. I'm just kidding. It's my first movie, So no, it's a lot of fun. But Joe basically he cuts my head off and beats my friend with it. So
right.
That is kind of
a great first impression. Exactly. Right. Yeah. Says a lot about both of you, I guess. Yes. We did that movie together. He wrote that, and he also plays the killer in that. And then we did a few other movies after that. And then it was a long stretch before I worked on his screenplay. So Blind was, I think it was like 10 years, a 10-year stretch that I didn't work on anything of his. Mm-hmm. And then Blind was the first one in a while. Yeah. So you said you guys were friends, Marcel and the people involved. So did you know Marcel before you did Rootwood, or did you meet him on Rootwood?
So basically, I met Marcel the Thanksgiving before we shot Rootwood, which we shot, I believe, in January. So I met Marcel in November, and we actually met at Elissa's house for Thanksgiving. So, we got to talking, and we hung out a few times after that. LA's big, but it's small, so you tend to run into people a lot. Right. A lot of the same people. You run in the same groups. So he asked if I wanted to be a part of his movie, check out his screenplay, and I guess that's kind of how it all started. Yeah.
By the way, when I was in LA, I went to the horror trivia night in Burbank.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the questions was how many movies has Elissa Dowling and Sarah French been in together?
No way.
Yeah, it was because the director of automation was there, and I think if you got that question, you won a copy of it.
Oh my God, that's amazing. I don't even know that answer.
I don't remember the answer now. I'm sorry, but no. I was like, wow, that's like a crazy. Well, honestly, all the questions were crazy. I think I know a lot about horror until I went to the trivia night. Then I was like, I'm just a fraud. I don't know half or 90% of the questions.
That's why I can't go to those things, because I know a lot about horror, but they ask really hard questions that there's no chance in hell I would get.
Yeah. It was what's the death count of RoboCop 2? And
I
was
Jesus.
Who could, it was 96, and I was like, who could possibly know that?
Did they give you an A, B, or C?
That one they did, but some of them they did. And I was just like, how? There's no way. If the kill count was 5, maybe someone would know. But 96, who could possibly just know that?
That's so funny. Yeah. No, Elissa and I, gosh, I've known her now, I think, close to 5 years. And we've worked on so many movies, so many projects, music videos, feature films. She's great. I love Elissa, and she's awesome in Rootwood. Again, Tyler Gallant, he's great in Rootwood as well. We have Felissa Rose, and it was a really fun cast, a really great cast. And Rootwood is out now. It just came out on streaming. Mm-hmm. So we're really excited about that, and DVD. So if you guys, since we're all stuck at home, it's definitely one to check out, which you have seen, Neil.
Yeah, I've seen it. And there's a lot of chemistry between you, Tyler, and Elissa, which you could tell like you guys are friends, but that really adds to the movie. It comes across that these are actual friends in the movie.
And that's really important because, the three of us are, the main cast in the movie. And it was Marcel wanted to make sure that we all clicked, that we all worked really well together. And he did a great job putting us all together. And yeah, I mean, I didn't really know Tyler at the time. I met him at, I believe, Automation Wrap Party, which, it's a small world. And then a few other times after that, but we got together the week before filming for rehearsals. It was me, Tyler, and Elissa, and we, went over our lines and everything. And we just all kind of clicked, and I'm very fortunate. I'm very happy that, it worked out so well. Cause with these independent movies, you just don't know. Sometimes you don't know who you're working with, or in any movies or TV shows, you don't know who you're working with, what you're getting into. And so it was great clicking with everybody on set. Like there was no drama. Everyone, they gave it their all because it's a low budget film. Mm-hmm. But so you really have to be on it. You really have to be prepared because we don't have time for 5-10 takes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's so important that, we all kind of, we all clicked, we all worked well together and, didn't bring any drama. It's so important.
Mm-hmm. I've known Elissa for a long time too, through the conventions, like at Days of the Dead. She actually got me kicked off YouTube for a little while, not like intentionally. I had a video. It'll sound like it's this really shady video, but it wasn't. It was her in a body bag for like Girls and Corpses magazine.
Oh, I've seen that.
And it got me. It was deemed pornography, and I was just like, "What?" And so I was kicked off YouTube for like 6 months. This was years ago, and I couldn't fight it or anything. It was very strange. It wasn't even like adult or anything. It was just straight up banned from YouTube.
Oh no!
But it's really cool to see her doing really well too, and she's in tons of stuff lately.
Yeah, and we did automation together. We shot automation. Let's see, we shot automation in January, and then we filmed Rootwood in March. Mm-hmm. I'm like bad with dates, but so we worked on automation together, and then a few months after that, we shot Rootwood. But she's great in automation too. Yeah. I mean, that was such a fun movie. I don't know if you got a chance to see that one yet.
I have not seen automation, but I like things about AI and stuff. So it's definitely something I would enjoy, I think.
Oh, totally. It's, and basically, it was such a fun, shoot. Again, it's, a low budget film, but it's, there's a lot of heart in it. And it was just a lot of fun, and Elissa was great. Sadie was in that one as well. Sadie Katz, who was also in Hanukkah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Perry Shen, Graham Skipper, a lot of great folks.
Yeah, now Sadie's great too. I've had her on many times.
Oh yeah, that's right.
They talk to me, and then their careers do really well. I think it's.
I'm glad I'm talking to you.
Exactly right.
I'm in good hands.
Exactly. So, was that a physical movie to make, Rootwood, because you're outside a lot?
Oh boy, it was. But it was a lot of fun. I'm a very those who know me. I'm constantly hiking. I'm outdoors. I'm a very outdoorsy person. So it was really nice being able to work in the forest. We were in, God, what was that? I'm brain farting what forest it was, but it was by Malibu. Oh, Malibu Creek Park.
Okay.
And it's huge. It's vast. It's, it was very physical because there were times, in the movie where we had to climb up hills, like big hills, and, go through, deep brush just to get to certain, spots in the forest because, it was so beautiful. There were so many beautiful, places to shoot there. But yeah, it was definitely very physical, especially at night. There were a lot of night scenes, and, it gets really cold. Like, no matter where you live, it gets really cold at night, even in, Los Angeles.
Yeah, I noticed that when I was out in LA. I didn't expect that. I expected I'd be very hot the whole time, but yeah, it gets cold at night. And after I was there a little while, like I had to wear my hoodie and stuff. I was like, yeah. And then when I came back home, I was like absolutely freezing. It was like 20 degrees or something. But
that's funny. Well, especially in the winter months and the early spring months, it gets pretty chilly here.
Yeah, I was there in December, so yeah, it was.
Yeah. Well, it's weird. Rain. Oh yeah, it definitely does. It's weird. Even like when Joe and I first moved here, we moved here in January and it was like 90 degrees. It hasn't been that since.
Uh-huh. It's just to fool you.
Yeah. Which I'm fine with because I like, 60s, 70s, 80s, weather is nice.
Yeah. I used to not be affected by the cold when I was like 340 pounds, but now that I'm under 200 pounds, I know what people are talking about the cold. And I apologize to anyone who used to share a hotel with me because I used to put the AC like as low as it would go or high as it would, whatever. Oh my God. And now I realize how annoying that probably was.
Hey, trust me, I totally get you because Joe runs hot. I run cold. So he's always wanting the air conditioning on or the fan on, and I'm just freezing.
Yeah.
But I totally get it.
So when you moved out to LA, was that a big decision to make? Let's move out to LA and pursue movies.
Oh my God, was it ever? It was really. It was really a hard decision. And the hardest part about it was leaving friends and family. That's always the hardest. Mm-hmm. And Joe has 3 girls and, it was really hard on them. It was hard on us. But they, our family and friends, they supported us through this whole thing. And we love them and appreciate them so much. Because, we wouldn't be able to do this without them, without their support. But, Joe and I left, we had day jobs that we had for, 6 to 10 years. Mm-hmm. Not a lot of people know this about me, but while, I've been in the film industry now since 2006, but I've always had a day job. Mm-hmm. I've had to because, obviously doing what I do at the time anyway didn't pay the bills because I lived in Minnesota. The film industry is great out there, but you can't survive on it. You just can't. Mm-hmm. So, we both had day jobs that we had for a long time and, it was hard leaving that. It's hard. And I say this all the time. I'm a Taurus. I don't like change. Change is the most difficult thing for me. Uh-huh. But it was the right decision to make. And, and we're super happy here. We're so grateful, for all the opportunities that we've had. And luckily I was able to start my career living in Minnesota. But I would do what helped me was, I did conventions and I would make appearances at conventions and I would meet, other actors, directors, producers, fans, I would meet people, get myself out there. And I think that really helped, networking. Networking is so important. It's so important. You can't just sit home expecting people to call you. Hey, I got this great, really great gig, you're hired, this and that. No, it doesn't. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it happens, I guess, but yeah, you really have to put yourself out there. You have to get out there. You have to be a people person to a certain extent. And,
Mm-hmm. I've done a few things this last year in movies, but a lot of it was through that, going to the conventions, the festivals, and you have to be like if you're someone that people like to be around, then they're going to want you around in their, in their movies or at the convention, wherever it is. That sounds like very simple, but it's true.
Well, and, again, I mean, I've said this before so many times, word travels fast in our industry. If you're a good person, if you come to set prepared, you're ready, you're on time, you're, respectful, you don't cause drama, all that plays a part. And that makes such a difference. Word travels fast. If you're a diva in any way, if you're not prepared, you're not, on time, like that shit will hurt you. I mean, listen, we do this because we love it. Do we do it for the paycheck? Well, of course sometimes, but we do it because we love it. And, I'm grateful for any opportunity that comes my way. I'm happy to be on set. I'm thankful, I'm grateful, and I will always be. And, I don't take any of this for granted. We can't, because there's there's a lot of opportunities out there, and we have to really kind of, seize the moment and, really just appreciate what we have. I could go on a whole tangent, but do you see what I'm saying?
Of course, I agree 100%.
It's like, but some of these people, let me tell you, I could go a whole tangent on this, but so many people come to set, they're grumpy, they hate life, they hate, just, it's like, then why are you here?
Yeah, and that affects everyone's mood and the whole atmosphere.
It completely does. It's like, just because you have a don't bring your bad attitude to set, because that affects everybody. It really does. I mean, that's why you want to create environments that are positive. They're happy. They're, we're glad to be here. We're excited. Yeah. Don't come to set with your shitty attitude because you hate life. Mm-hmm. Fix it. Only you can fix it. Nobody else can fix that for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you mentioned that the conventions, like I've known, I won't say any names or anything, but people that might not necessarily be like an A-list guest, mm-hmm. but they're fun to be around, and then you see them at all the conventions, and then people that may even be like a pretty big guest, if they're not, you could tell they're not happy to be there.
I know what you're saying.
They're not going to be around at many conventions.
No. Yeah, if you're not happy, then don't fucking do it.
Right.
I get it. And I'm sure for some of them, that's really, maybe that's their only income for the,
right.
for the next couple of months, and they hate it, but still, you got to put on a face for the fans.
Right. If you're an actor, pretend.
Right. Yes, yeah. That is why you're there. You have to put that smile on, even if you're, hating life. Don't show that, because that makes you look bad, and then it makes people like, are they really like that all the time? We don't ever, you don't know if that person coming up to your table, you don't know if they're a director or a producer or have some in the film industry that maybe they want to work with you down the road. You always have to put on a face, like, you just have to.
Yeah. I think that's good advice for anyone who wants to do anything. And
yes.
Even if it's not act or anything, just be involved in movies, or even if they do a podcast, if you go to the conventions or whatever, and you're nice, people are more likely to come on your show. Just in general, it's a good thing to do. And plus, it's also the right thing to do, to be nice to people.
No, it is. But the sad thing is there's so many people out there that just, they don't. And but that's not my problem. You know what I mean? That's their problem, and that's something they need to work on. And, it's just, your career isn't going to go nowhere with that attitude. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. So were you a horror movie fan before you were in horror movies?
Yes.
All right.
Oh, of course. I, at the age of 5, I was like 5 or 6 when I saw my first horror movie, and it was Child's Play.
Oh, nice. That someone else recently that was their same movie, the first one they saw.
Really?
I can't remember who it was now, but.
So the story goes so first off, my mom, she was a single parent, small town Minnesota, and we lived right across the street from our Lutheran church that we would go to every Sunday. And so she was very religious, and which, that's fine. But she would never let us watch anything. Like, she would say, like, we would want to watch Married with Children, my sister and I, and she would say, no, that's evil, that's horrible. You can't watch anything with people kissing, or foul language, stuff like that. So when you tell kids no, what do they want to do?
Exactly. Right.
They want to watch that shit. So basically, by her telling us no all the time, made me want to, check out these things that she frowned upon. So my grandma was babysitting my sister and I, and she took us to the local movie store, which I miss so much.
I do too. Yes.
Right? Because you would get these titles just by looking at the picture.
Oh yeah, that was the best.
Oh
yeah, I'd go to usually the horror section or the new releases and find some crazy look. And sometimes the cover would have absolutely nothing to do with the movie,
right?
And sometimes, but either way, it was. That's how you would get like, oh wow, this looks insane. I got to get it. I remember I really wanted to get Motel Hell because of the pictures of the guy with the pig head on and the chainsaw I would see in like the Fangoria magazines or one of the monster magazines. Yes. I was like, I have to see this. That was one of the first movies. My mom let me watch anything, but that was one of the first movies my mom rented. Yeah, single mom as well, but she let me rent Motel Hell.
Aww.
Back in the day.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. But yeah, I'm kind of dating myself, because I went, rented VHS as well. Right. But so, our grandma brought us to the video store, and we were looking around, and I saw Child's Play, and I can't remember what the cover was. Was it Chucky on the cover on the first one?
I think it is. Doesn't he have like a? I'm gonna cheat and look this up.
Yeah, look it up. The scissor one is the second one, I think.
Oh, it is, because that's what I have in my mind. Yeah, with the scissors. For some reason, I think that's the one that you see a lot.
I'm super brain farting, and I promise I am a true horror fan.
Oh no, we won't question. But of course, I put in Child's Play, and all the ones that come up are like the
new one. Yeah. Oh, of course.
But the one with the scissors comes up in all these pictures. That's what I have in my mind with the one with the scissors. But you're right, that's part 2. So you've proven that you are a fan. But I guess he's got a knife in the first one.
Oh yeah. Okay, so I saw it and I was like, okay. My sister and I are like, all right, let's try to, get our grandma to rent us this. So she rented it for us. And I don't remember if we gave her some story like, oh, grandma, it's just, some kids movie with dolls and blah, blah, blah.
Right. It says child in the title.
Listen, I think she knew, but she was just like, because grandmas are cool. Right. They kind of let you get away with just about anything. Mm-hmm. So we rented it, we brought it home and watched it, and it just gave me this feeling, how horror movies, when you first, get into horror movies, it just gives you that you're just scared and it's exhilarating. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what really started my love for horror, because I was like, oh my God, I love this. I want to watch more. Give me more. What else can I, sink my teeth into? And I was like 5 or 6. So, and that's kind of, how it all began, my love of horror. Now that's really all I ever watch.
So how old were you when you thought, well, I would like to be in the horror movies?
Well, looking back, I've always liked entertaining people, because I've thought about this a lot. I was like, where did this all come from? Where did this start? At one point in my life when I was a kid, I lived on a farm in small town Minnesota. And I lived on a farm for it was 4 or 5 years. And, your imagination runs wild. Back then, we didn't have the internet. We didn't have cell phones. We had to be creative and, do things as kids that, we had fun with. You had to create. And, we would have family members come. When family members would come over, my sister and I would put on little plays and stuff like that for them. So I think that's kind of where my love of creating and where that all started. Mm-hmm. As far as horror movies, I would have to say my teens when I was 15, I moved to the cities, which was a huge change for me because I grew up in a small town of 3,000 people. So when I was a teenager, we moved to the cities, and we're just my school. We had like 3,000 people.
Oh wow.
So I found friends that I clicked with, and we would make our own little horror movies. At home. And, I wasn't into drugs or alcohol or anything like that. I was a pretty straight edge kid, but, I loved horror and metal. So yeah, I would write little scripts, little short horror scripts. And, my friends and I, we had our big VHS camcorder. Uh-huh. And, we would just, have fun with it and create. And that's where the horror, where I kind of wanted to start doing horror movies is when I was a teenager.
Yeah. Are any of those online anywhere? Do you know any of your friends ever put those on YouTube?
No. Oh my God. I have them.
You have them. All right. But you're not putting them up. Yeah. I understand.
Who knows if the VHS even works anymore? It might have disintegrated.
That's right. That's very true. Yeah.
Because I don't know if those things last,
Yeah, I have a bunch here, but I don't have a working VCR, so I don't know if any of them work.
Yeah. Oh my God. We had so much fun. And, and I did it was weird. I've always been an introvert my whole life up until I was probably, up until I graduated, I was an introvert. I was quiet. I kept to myself. All of my friends were kind of like that too. We kind of just had our own tight-knit group in, high school. But what really helped me, kind of break free from that was performing in front of the camera. And I was, God, I don't remember. It was 2004. Again, I'm dating myself here. 2004, my boyfriend at the time was in a band called Impaler. It was a shock rock metal band based out of Minnesota. They're still together. Great. I love the music. Great guys. We were at a concert, and a photographer came up to me, and he gave me his card. He's like, "I love your look," because at the time I had a very gothic look. Okay. I was a goth girl. I had black hair, the black makeup, the leather, the studs, all that. He was an alternative goth photographer. And so he gave me his card. He's like, "I love your look. Come shoot with me. I would, love to have you." And I look at him. I was like, "Wait, what? You want to shoot me?" I looked at the card. I was like, "Yeah, sure, buddy." But I put it in my pocket. It was just weird because I'd never really thought about it. I would say I gave it a few months after that. I found the card and I was like, you know what? Why don't I get a hold of this guy and see what this is all about? I contacted a few models that he shot with before just to see, if he's the real deal and not some creeper dude. Right. Because there's a lot out there, let me tell you. Fortunately, I've, come across him, but, I've learned a lot over the years, luckily.
Yeah.
And they said, he's great, shoot with him, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, cool. So I contacted him. We set up a shoot. And that was 2005. So I loved being in front of the camera. I found my new love of being in front of the camera was modeling. So after him, I set up a bunch of other shoots with other photographers. I was doing all sorts of different shoots all across Minnesota. And I'd say about 6 months after that, I was like, you know what? I still had the love for horror. I was like, I always wanted to be that girl running through the woods, half naked, covered in blood, screaming, trying to get away from a killer. Or, I wanted to be, whooping ass, right. Kicking ass,
yeah,
killing motherfuckers too.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, you know what? And let me tell you, I didn't know anybody in the film industry when I got started. No one. Zilch. Nada. I kind of just, I went online and I found at the time it was like a blog or forum or something. I can't remember what it was, like a horror forum or a blog, I guess. They were casting for a short film called Pajama Party Massacre. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to check this out and just to see what this is all about, because, you know, I got so used to being in front of the camera after modeling. I was like, I want to get into film. I want to try that, you know?
Yeah, of course. So
I met these filmmakers, NFTS Productions, based out of Minnesota. We met up at I think it was a cafe, and we just had a conversation. We got along really well, and they're like, "You are the Jennifer character we were looking for." So they basically hired me right on the spot. There was no audition, nothing. Uh-huh. They just really liked my attitude. I was enthusiastic. I was excited. I was like, I want to try this. Was I a good actor at the time? Hell no. But you know what? They saw, you know, how excited I was, and you know, that I wanted to do it. I mean, why not? So that's kind of where all that started. Yeah. And then I
did look up the poster. Your next 3 Pajama Party Massacre.
You see Joe? That's Joe in the mask.
All right. I like that he's credited as the axe wielding madman.
Yes, which he is.
In the movie and out. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. In the movie and in real life. Right. No, we had so much fun. After that movie, I was just like, I craved it. I was like, this is what I want. And what I forgot to mention was I went to college, but I actually went to college for criminal justice.
Oh, wow.
I was in college for 2 years, and then I actually took some acting classes while I was in college, like theater classes, because that was, you know, you can do extra credits or, you know, something like that. And so I took theater classes, and but I started doing these movies, and I was like, I don't want to do criminal justice anymore. I want to be an actress. Uh-huh. So unfortunately I didn't get my degree, but, you know, I had the opportunity to, you know, do that for a few years, and, you know, it just wasn't meant for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, you said like your family and friends were supportive. Were they supportive of that, of leaving school to pursue acting?
Well, like I said, my mom's pretty religious. And that's a whole story. Well, I might as well say it because most people know this about me anyway. So when I first started modeling, I kind of just got into nude modeling. I don't know how. It just somehow happened. You know, I'm very comfortable with myself. I always have been. I don't have a problem with nudity at all. And for those who have seen my movies, you know, they know that. And so my mom, I didn't really tell her about the whole modeling thing. That was kind of, you know, kept under wraps just because I didn't know how she would react to it. Right. Well, I don't know how she did, but she like Googled my name, and I had a stage name at the time. It was Scarlett Salem. I don't have that stage name anymore. But when I first started modeling, I thought everybody had a stage name. So I was like, okay, I'll just, you know, come up with a name. Mm-hmm. So my mom, I guess, Googled my name, Scarlett Salem, and some stuff popped up, and that was a whole thing. But you know, we had a good talk, and, you know, I told her that, you know, this, you know, I'm sorry that you had to see that, but it's all tasteful. Like everything I did was tasteful. It was beautiful. It's, you know, more like, Playboy type stuff, not, you know, Hustler type stuff. Right, yeah. Although Hustler did contact me.
Oh, okay.
I was like, no, thanks. Playboy, I would gladly do in a heartbeat. Uh-huh. Hustler, no, there's a big difference.
Yeah.
So my mom, you know, she wasn't supportive at first, but then, you know, it took a few years, but she saw, you know, how much I enjoyed it. She saw that, you know, it really spoke to me, and it's what I wanted to do. And it took her a few years, but, you know, now she's my number one fan.
Oh, that's great. That's
she's super supportive. I love my mom so much. She's always been there for me through thick and thin. And honestly, I couldn't have done it without her.
Mm-hmm. That's very good. Does she watch the movies?
I tell her about some. Yeah. the if I'm nude in any of the movies, I don't talk about those.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's seen like a good amount of them, and she's always like, when's more of your movies coming out? And she's super excited, and yeah. And my dad too. My dad. Okay. I mean, real quick, I met my dad. I met my dad when I was 16. Mm-hmm. It was just one of those things. But we have a very great relationship now. I love my dad. I love, that whole side of the family, and they're all super supportive as well. Mm-hmm. Thank God, Yeah. And we actually had a screening of Blind was at the Twin Cities Film Festival. We had it last October. Mm-hmm. Which is a really, big film festival in Minnesota. Actually, in the U.S., it's one of the top 10, I believe. Oh, wow. And we were able to screen Blind there. And so, all of our family and friends came out to the screening, because Joe, he's from Minnesota too. All of his family came out. Like, it was, let me tell you, it was one of my most favorite experiences, in the industry ever. It was just... Yeah. Being able to have that support and just showing them what we did, it meant so much. And Marcel came out with us. Jed Rowan, who plays Pretty Boy, came out. Ben, who plays Sushi Boy, came out to the screening as well. So, we had a lot of the cast there. It was amazing. Such a great experience. And to have people that support us, our friends that we haven't seen in a long time, our family that we haven't seen in a long time. It was amazing.
Yeah. That's so awesome. I definitely look forward to seeing it. Another thing I miss is going to festivals and stuff.
Yes.
Even just not making money and everything, but, going to these events and stuff, you really miss. Well, what's that? Not just that one, because obviously that one's personal to you, having your family and your friends there, but watching your movies on the big screen. What's that experience like?
It's weird. It's so weird. You're just like, oh my God, I don't know. It's an amazing experience. I'm not one that I'm like, I can't watch it. The one thing I can't do is after, like, it's hard for me to watch something like playback. So it's hard for me to watch, like, if I just, finished a scene. They're like, oh, we're, checking playback to make sure everything looks good, and then we can move on. It's hard for me to watch that because, I'm just like, I'd rather not watch you guys. You guys are the professionals. You know what you're looking for. You know what you want. I'll just wait for the premiere. But I've become more confident over the years. And so it's easier for me now to be like, okay, yeah, let me watch playback, because it's important actually to watch that, because then you could see, okay, I don't like how that is. So if they want to do another take, and if they're okay with it, I'm going to change it up, or, something like that. Yeah. So just so that you feel comfortable in the scene and you're comfortable and happy with it as well. That's important too. Yeah.
The little bit, because I was on set for the first time in December, and I never thought of this before, but you can really tell the difference of watching something, with just your own eyes and how it looks on camera. It's completely different.
It's so different, Yeah. Because, the color correcting, the editing, adding the music, it all plays a part. I mean, just watching something after you filmed it it's completely different when it's a finished product that you see on the big screen. So, the first time I saw myself on the big screen, gosh, I think it was for Pajama Party Massacre. I think we saw on the big screen, right, Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we watched Pajama Party Massacre on the big screen. That was my very first time seeing myself on the big screen, and I was just like, oh my God, this is so weird.
Yeah.
But it's great. I love it because, you get to see all the hard work that everybody put into it, and, starting from, point A of the process and getting to the finished product, it's so different.
Mm-hmm.
And it just makes you appreciate it so much more. You're just like, oh my God, it's amazing. How did they do that? It's just crazy.
Yeah. So you said, earlier about when you were a teenager writing like horror scripts, then filming them. Have you ever thought of writing anything since then?
Well, I've done some writing stuff in the past. I wrote for Shock Horror magazine based out of the UK. I did that for like a good year or two, maybe. I can't remember. But and then, Joe and I have written books together. What helps me is that Joe's a writer. So, he kind of, I've learned a lot over the years from him. And I think it was right before we moved out here, I started writing a treatment to a horror film. I started writing my own thing. I haven't revisited it yet, and I don't know if I will. But I'm keeping my options open. You never know. I mean, it's great to be creative in different ways, and to stay, just being as creative as possible. But as far as the writing thing, I mean, you never know. I might, dabble a little more into it down the road. It's a lot of fun, but my true passion is, acting. So,
sure.
But you just never know. I'm open to, I'm open to it.
Yeah. What are you guys doing right now during the quarantine? Not right at this minute, but during these weeks.
God, it's, oh gosh. Well, we're catching up on TV shows.
Right.
I'm, like you, Neil, I mean, you lost a lot of weight over the last,
about a year and 4 months or so. Yeah.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You look amazing. And you're constantly out there, running, walking and trying to stay in shape. You have to.
Yes. Yeah. Schedule I made sure to do it before, the interview today. And
good for see. So
I don't like to miss a day. Oh, okay. Yeah.
No. And that's the thing. It's like health and fitness has, it's a really important part of my life. And it always has been, but what I used to do when I got out of high school, I kind of dedicated my life to health and fitness, but I was doing it wrong. I was working out and then I would eat shitty. You can't work out and eat shitty. You can't, because it's 80% diet, 20% fitness. Diet is so important. It's the key. If you want to lose weight, you have to eat properly. And a lot of people think you can eat whatever you want and work out and you'll be fine. That's not the case. When you're first starting out anyway.
Yeah.
But so during quarantine here, I'm continuing to work out, eat healthy, because you know what? When this shit is over, I'm going to be fucking ready to rock.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I do see a lot of people saying like they're gaining all this weight, and I'm thinking I'm still walking miles and eating well.
We'll have to. I mean, Jesus, it is such a tough time right now. And mentally, when this whole thing like first started, I couldn't mentally, like I said, I don't like change. Mm-hmm. It was so hard for me to wrap my head around what's going on. And, it's been a challenge, but during this time, we've just been still trying to stay busy. I'm still auditioning. What's great here in LA is a lot of casting directors right now are looking for new people because they have time. So they've been putting out casting calls to, get possibly new clients and see new people and see. So I've been doing a lot of auditions. I've been taping them with Joe's help. He's been amazing. He's super supportive. I'm working on a new reel right now, which I'm pretty excited about because I haven't had a new one in like 2 years. Oh, I'm still waiting for a lot of footage, but I'm going to use what I have. Mm-hmm. And I'm just trying to stay busy and focused. And because, like I said, when this is all over, I'm going to be ready to rock and roll. Yeah. And, before this whole thing happened, I was supposed to shoot Bloodthirst out in Vegas with the Mahal brothers. I've worked with them on Art of the Dead and the upcoming Bridge of the Doomed. We were supposed to start shooting that April 6th, but, it's pushed now.
Yeah,
fortunately. But they said the second this is lifted, we're gonna basically be right into production, which, I'm super excited about. And, I'm studying the script now and just staying as prepared as possible.
Yeah.
And as creative as possible. Joe's still writing. He is keeping busy doing all that. And that's what we have to do right now. We just have to focus on what, our goals are and, stay positive, because we will get through this. It'll take time. Things are going to change, but we're all going to get through this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Stay positive. Big deal. Because once I started eating better, and walking, staying active, everything. It not only, it's great that I look better, but it really helped my mental well-being. Much more positive person.
Good.
I don't get depressed or anything.
Yep.
And not to go on and on about this, but definitely what you said about eating healthy. And for people ask me for advice, and I'll start telling them, and then some people will just be like, I don't want, I just want to eat whatever I want. It's like, well, that's fine, but do whatever you want, but you're not going to,
Yeah, if you want to lose weight, you have
to change something,
You have to. Yeah. You can't change I could get on a whole tangent about health and fitness, because, that's a big part of my life. Kind of what started.
And you also don't have to give up everything either, because I do a cheat meal once or twice a week, so I can get my pizza once in a while, or today I had a fried fish sandwich. But if you eat well all the other times, something like that's not going to have any effect on you.
No, listen, you cannot restrict yourself. That's the worst thing you could do. There's a thing called moderation. You can eat basically a lot in moderation. And people have to realize that you don't have to give up anything. Just maybe have a little bit here, a little bit there, and switch things up a bit. Add more veggies into your life. Because
I'm never hungry. Because if I was hungry all the time, I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't have been able to change my lifestyle or anything. But I just eat better stuff. I eat a lot of vegetables, and then I weigh my protein. 4 ounces of.
Yes.
I live on Cape Cod, so I can get a lot of fresh seafood. So I eat mostly seafood, chicken.
Okay, good. I'm a vegetarian, but Joe's a meat eater, which is fine.
Yeah. When I was in LA, I was around a lot of vegans, and honestly, everything was delicious, so I didn't mind it. It would be hard here for me to eat vegan because, right now you can't really go to a restaurant. But if I went to any restaurant, there would be basically I could get a salad. But if you're in LA, you can get really good vegan food.
Let me tell you, times have changed. There is so much amazing vegetarian and vegan food out there that's super healthy, high in protein, low in carb. And, it's so much easier nowadays, especially living out in California. It's so much easier to be a vegetarian or a vegan than it is, let's say back in Minnesota. But it's changing. They're adding, there's a lot more vegetarian options now than there ever has been. And so it's really great, having the options that we have now. I'm so grateful for that.
Yeah. Even when I go to Boston, which I haven't now in a month and a half or whatever, but I can eat really well and have good food, and you can eat really healthy. In smaller towns, it's harder.
Oh, most definitely. But,
I do most of my own cooking. So, yeah.
Oh, good. Yep. Good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah. And I like to cook. So
good. Yeah. Especially at a time like now where, some days are better than others, but, eating healthy will make you feel better in general. Yeah. So it's right now more than ever is so important to eat healthy. Because it's just going to make you feel better, and go for daily walks. I unfortunately live in an area. I love the area I live in. We're in North Hollywood. We're right in the arts district. It's beautiful. But there's not a lot of places. I mean, you can walk around the neighborhood and stuff, but it's hard because there's people everywhere.
Yeah.
But, so I try to find spots that I'm close to where there's not a lot of people, and, I isolate myself pretty much, but I'm still able to get outside and, jog, walk. You have to get that vitamin D. I mean, that's so important. You can't just stay locked in the house.
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. You have to, but you still do need to try to get some sun. Yeah, I mean, you have to, just for your own mental well-being too.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. That is a lucky thing here where I live, is a small town.
Yes.
I live across the street from the state forest. I could go up there.
You're so lucky.
I could walk. There's lots of places I could walk where
Good.
I'll maybe see 2 or 3 people at the most, on if it's a really nice day out. But usually I won't see anybody. So.
Well, the thing is, I usually go to this place called Griffith Park. It's like my second home. Like before, I would hike there and listen, my motto is, when I'm not working on a project, I'm working on myself. And it's so important, working on yourself. And so when I'm not working on a project, I'll be hiking. I'll be cross training at the gym, when all that's open. But right now they closed down most of the park. The trails are closed and stuff. And I get it. They're trying to make sure people don't congregate.
Yeah.
If I said that word correctly, I said that word totally wrong.
That's all right. I think I understood it, and I'm sure everyone knows. I'm not sure how you say it either. So
you know what I'm saying.
Exactly. Congregate, I believe.
Congregate.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. No, but I totally get it. But you still need to get out there and get some vitamin D. And it's just good for your own mental well-being. But, what else we're doing during this quarantine is, doing these podcasts. These podcasts are great. And thank you guys for doing this, Yeah,
I'm glad I've been doing them, because I don't, I'd be really bored. Right. I like doing them anyway, but now it's, a lot more people want to come on. And
yes. And
listen, I also think it gives people something to listen to.
No, it does. And we need to, just spread the word of positivity and just to show, people that, we are going to get through this. We are going to get through this. We just have to stay positive and hopeful, and, connect with your friends. Mm-hmm. That's really important right now too. Even though we can't see them in person, you have to give them a call, Skype them, Instagram them. Just friends and family, stay in contact with. It's so important, especially right now.
Yeah.
Reach out to people.
People used to look, well, not everyone, but, a lot of people look down like, oh, you're on the internet all the time. But it's really important right now, because you wouldn't be able to stay in contact with most people.
Oh my gosh, is it ever? It really is. It's, it's a blessing and a curse sometimes,
Yeah, oh yeah, of course. By the way, before I forget, Griffith Park, is that where the old zoo is too?
Yes.
All right, because I was there when I was out in LA. We were trying to find something we were trying to film something there, but it didn't work out. But it was very cool to go there and see the old, I don't know if they were cages or what they were, but
yeah, they were.
It was a wild place to walk around.
Yeah, and there's graffiti everywhere. It's really a cool place. But Griffith Park is huge. I don't even know how many miles it is, but it's huge. And that's what I love about California. It's not just, it's not all just buildings everywhere and people everywhere. There's a lot of beauty. Even in LA, there's a lot of beauty. There's a lot of nature. And, I love going there because it helps me clear my head and just, taking a breath of fresh air, because we need that, especially before all this, you're always go, 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 having those trails and being able to be out in nature really helps me mentally focus, and it just makes me appreciate where I am in life. And, it's just, for me mentally, it's a great place. I love it, and I miss it, and I want it to open again so bad, and I can't wait for this to be over.
I agree. There's many things I miss. Going to the movies, going to festivals, going places, I guess, in general.
But, I mean, we still have to do what we can.
Oh, yeah, of course.
To stay safe and support, like I said, support each other, be there for each other. Because right now it's dark for a lot of people right now. A lot of people are going through a lot, hardships, and, we just have to be there for each other and, try to stay positive, because we will get out of this.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw, I don't know if you know him, but Joel Reed, who made Bloodsucking Freaks, really,
yes,
he just passed away yesterday. I found out the news yesterday, might have been a couple of days ago, but I was really bummed about that. He was a great guy. Met him a couple times in Manhattan, and just a really funny guy. But yeah, he died from coronavirus.
Oh, that's too bad. Rest in peace. That's really sad. Yeah, it's really hard right now, and I just want to give a shout out to all the people that are still working, the doctors, the nurses, the grocery store clerks, the truck drivers, like everybody that's still making the world go round right now. We appreciate you, and thank you for everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree 100%. And I don't think people appreciate that enough sometimes. Like
exactly.
You said, the grocery stores, like all these people are still working at the grocery store, and they're around people constantly.
Yeah, I mean, even people that are still, delivering our food, and restaurants that are still open. That's why, Joe and I try to support that as much as possible. We try, to order food locally, once or twice a week, just to try to keep these businesses open, because everybody's struggling right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my cheat meal today. I had a fish sandwich at Captain Scott's down the street.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It wasn't too bad of a cheat meal.
Okay.
Just the bun was pretty bad.
Okay,
yeah.
And you went on your walk, so you're good.
Yeah. I'm sure I burnt more calories than was in the fish sandwich. But
getting back to the health thing real quick. Mm-hmm. What I've learned over the years, since I've really hunkered down on getting my health and fitness, like really going, is, it took a while, but your body gets used to you doing things a certain way. Uh-huh. And then, so when you do have that cheat meal, it just burns it off.
Yeah.
Because, you trained your body to, eat a certain way.
I was really worried the first time I went somewhere after I changed everything. I was like when I went to Chicago, I was like, I'm not going to be able to just, eat plus I want to have some stuff that I don't normally, have when I'm there. And I was like worried, but then I came back and I gained like a pound or two, and then
wow.
in a couple of days, it was all gone. And it made me, realize what you're just saying there, when I'm away, I can, cheat a little bit, and then it's not going to be that big of a factor.
No.
As long as you don't go crazy or anything.
No, exactly. Yeah, your body, once you get it into check, it just burns that shit off.
I still was going for the walk. My friend Matt out there, because I'd go for a walk in Chicago, and he's like, Neil, this isn't Cape Cod. You can't go walking by yourself at 3:30 in the morning in Chicago. And I was like,
oh my God, that's so funny. Yes. 100%. Yeah. You got to be very careful where you are.
There was a lot of, I didn't really come in any trouble, but I did see a lot of coyotes, which I didn't think was in Chicago. Uh-huh.
Oh, in Chicago?
Yeah. I was like, almost every night there was, I went every night. He told me, he's like, do I have to go and lock your door? Like, so you don't go out. But yeah, almost every night I'd see coyotes, which I had no idea was in Chicago.
Oh my goodness. That's crazy. I didn't know that. The Griffith Park area that I go to, there's a bunch of coyotes. I've seen bobcats, a bunch of different snakes. Like, it gets pretty crazy out there.
Yeah. There's coyotes where I am.
My mom's always like, you got to be careful when you're hiking. There's also a couple of lions that live.
Oh, really?
That live out there too. But they don't usually come out till at night, but I've never seen them. So hopefully I never see them.
Yeah. In a way, it's like, oh, that's cool. It's a lion. But then it'd be like, oh, shit, that's a lion.
Oh, shit. If I see it, it probably sees me.
Yeah. I remember when I was, my friend Annabelle and I were in Hunter Mountain in New York, and there was a black bear, a brown bear, in the parking lot of our hotel, and she's like, "Oh, let's go up to." I was like, "No, it's a bear. Like, let's go into the hotel. Like, I know it's cute, but you don't go up to a bear." And it was going in the trash too. So it's a hungry bear. It's like, I think that's not something we should go up and pet.
Probably not.
But it was pretty. I will admit it was cool.
I bet.
But yeah, stay away from it. So Rootwood's is out now. People can get it on video on demand. Can you get the physical? You just got the DVD, so you can also.
Yes, I did. Yes, you can order it on Amazon. There might be a few other places you can order it, but Amazon's probably the best right now.
Yeah. And do you know when Blind's coming out? I'm not. I haven't had like a definitive answer.
I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh, I see. People
but let's just say this will be a good year for some releases. So
all right. Very cool. Very cool. Looking forward to that.
We're super excited.
Yeah, you're also into Hanukkah, which is also out now.
Yes, I have a fun part in that. And Joe Knetter plays the Hanukkah killer in that. That movie's so awesome.
And he's great as the Hanukkah killer, not just because
he nailed it. And I'm not just saying it because I'm his girlfriend, but he nailed that shit. He looks amazing in it.
Yeah, he does, and he has a lot of presence on cameras. The killer,
yes,
good. Yeah, and Victoria DeMars, like an amazing scream queen in it. It was fun.
She really.
Well, that wasn't her. I was just saying it's fun right after I said, but her role is not necessarily fun. It's
crazy.
The scariest part of it.
Yeah.
What was that night like? The premiere for Hanukkah.
Well, I didn't go to the premiere. I think that was like, was that the actual premiere? Was that the night I saw you?
Yeah, I think there was a premiere the year earlier. For
early.
Yeah, this was. I'm not sure what it was called, but I think it was the premiere of the final cut, I guess.
When I saw the final cut, I didn't even see the other cut, but when I saw the final cut on the big screen, that was at the Chinese theater.
Yeah.
It was amazing. I was just like, oh my gosh, it looks great. The music by Harry Manfredini is fucking awesome. And you have Sid Haig, PJ Souls, that cast is amazing. And I thought everyone did a great job. I'm happy with the movie, and I can't wait for people to see it.
Now, Joe has a lot of history with Sid.
Yes.
You must have been around him a lot. Do you have any memories that stand out with Sid?
Oh, always. Joe, I came into the picture, I would say 5 years into Joe already doing these conventions. So yeah, he was very close with Sid. But one of my favorite moments is, I can't remember which show it was at. It might have been a Mad Monster party. But Sid, he would always be a bartender.
All right.
And he would make this drink called gumball martinis.
Uh-huh.
And they were the best fucking drink ever. Sid, he just had this presence about him. He was so kind. He loved to talk to people. He always had a smile on his face. And, he had the best stories. I mean, he's been around since, the 70s working in film.
Maybe even earlier. Yeah. I remember having dinner with him one night, and he's talking about like a cowboy TV show he was on. And I was just like, he's like every era of stuff. It's just, crazy to think about all the stuff he's been in.
It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. And he had such a career, and he was such a great guy. And he was one of those that would do, a lot of the conventions. So he would, and he never changed his prices.
Mm-hmm. I always bring that up because I some people will have the prices. And I was like, Sid it was $10, I think, for an autograph. And he always had a line. And he was been at, he was at like every convention. And so a lot of those people had to have already seen him, but the fact that he had, he was fun to talk to, he would talk to everybody, and he'd have, inexpensive prices. people even who had met him before would still go up and talk to him again. And I think that's a good lesson for a lot of people.
Oh, and that goes back to what you and I were saying earlier is you have to be a people person if, and put on a face for people. I mean, that's what they want to see. That's what keeps them coming back, and just being friendly. And, that goes a long ways.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a huge blow to the conventions, Sid Haig not being there.
Oh my gosh. I know it's really hard, and, we miss him dearly. And
he was one of the guys too that would always be at, after the convention itself would end, he'd always be at the after party.
Always.
That adds so much to the atmosphere of the show.
100%. Yeah. He's dearly missed. And it's, and the convention circuits, now even it's going to change so much, especially, with what's happening.
Yeah.
Like everything's going to change from here on out. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I mean, I don't do a lot of conventions anymore. Yeah. I maybe do like one a year, but, once I get more stuff coming out, that might change. Mm-hmm. So, but we'll see.
Yeah. I haven't done a lot either. I was at Mad Monster this year, which was right before everything started to happen.
Right before the shit hit the fan.
Yeah. That was very fun to see everybody again. I hadn't seen Eben for a little while because he wasn't at the premiere of his own movie.
You're right.
I don't know what's up with that guy.
I don't know if he was busy or I don't know what the deal is, but who knows?
He does, and apparently doesn't wear shoes anymore. He was just walking around with socks the whole time at the convention.
What?
But I don't know. Yeah, he's a weird man. But he's much happier too. Since he's a healthier guy. He used to always be very sour and mean, but he's very friendly now.
Oh,
but I like Eben a lot.
Yeah, he's a good guy. Yeah, and definitely check out Hanukkah. I think it's out now, but
yeah, it is. And when I was at Mad Monster, they had the pre-sale of the VHS tape.
Yeah, we got one.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah, it's like they had like 100 copies or something. I don't know if they have any left, but that's cool. I like that VHS is coming back, even if it's just a collector's item. It's like
exactly.
Why not? It's cool.
Yeah, the first movie my mom ever bought me was Creepshow on VHS and the Clamshell, and I still have it here on my shelf. The tape does not work. I know that.
No.
But it's a cool clamshell. It's a cool case, and I'll always have it there. Plus, VHS tapes were very expensive at the time, so it's a pretty awesome thing to buy me back in, I don't know, 85 or something.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. So, Child's Play was the first horror movie. What are some of your favorite horror movies?
Oh my gosh. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you can't go wrong with that. A lot of the originals, Exorcist. Another one of my favorites, actually, what not a lot of people know, is Demon Wind.
What is that movie? I'm going to cheat and look it up. I know the name of it. I'm sure I've seen it.
It's just,
Oh, yeah, I know this movie, yeah.
What sold me on it when I first saw it was the VHS, the cover.
Yes.
was hologram.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, that's so cool. But that I like that movie a lot. The Return of the Living Deads, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, all those classics. Those are all my favorites.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was looking at Demon Wind because then also Demon Wind patch came up when I was looking this up. I was like, I kind of would like that.
It's pretty badass, actually.
Yeah, it is.
The monster jumping out of the window.
Uh-huh. Yeah, and it's cool that a lot of the independent movies have practical effects, and I think it's because people we grew up watching that, and that's what we want to see in our horror movies. Oh,
100%. Well, like in Rootwood. We have that's like
a very cool monster in Rootwood.
Yeah, it's like a creature feature as well. Kwame Head, he made the costume. He also played the creature, and he also did the effects in Blind. So he's so good at what he does. And I appreciate anybody that's doing practical effects. It's easier to do digital nowadays and special effects that way. But it's like, it means more when it's, practical.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that like you don't get the weight. Like you could tell there's something there, even if you're not thinking of it. I think your eye and your mind knows like the weight's not there with like, and I always think like even bad practical effects has a charm to it, whereas bad CG is just bad.
Oh,
it's not
my
like
gosh.
Fun or it's just, wow, that looks really bad.
Yeah, you're more focused on, okay, how does that look? Why does it look that way? That's so fake,
Right.
That's so,
even like a silly monster, if it's there, it's like, oh, this is fun.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm all about the practical effects.
I agree. Yeah.
Yes.
I want to watch Demon Wind now. Now I'm looking at all these
images. It's like, rewatching it, I watched it when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
So like it just, it has that effect on you when you watch it young. It just, it's a unique movie, but it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. I mean, you're attached to it,
Well,
part of it is you have the memory of watching when you're a kid. And,
and I love the Romero movies, the Dead movies. I love, Carpenter, all of that. I mean, such a big fan.
That's very cool. So it's very cool to have grow up watching these things, and now you're in these things.
It's surreal. But like I said, I'm super grateful. I love what I do, and I don't see myself doing anything else but this.
Very good. So where could people follow Sarah French online, not to your home?
Well, you can find me on Instagram. I do a lot on there. Also Facebook. Those are probably the two best places to find me.
All right. Very good. I follow you on both.
And I follow you on both.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, this has been very fun, and we should do it again sometime.
Yes. When Blind comes out, we'll we'll all come on. And you still have to interview Marcel, too.
Yes, I do. We were going to set it up, and then I don't know what happened, but it didn't happen. But we'll definitely do it.
Now's the time to do it.
Exactly. Yeah. It was because it was a few years ago when I had him on the last time. But we got a lot of new stuff to talk about.
A lot, yes.
Yeah. But he's all about it, so it's going to happen. I'll nag him. Sometimes I'm bad about nagging people, but I'll nag him.
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
All right. Fair enough. I'll tell him Sarah told me it's okay.
Yes. Sarah said it.
Well, very good. I appreciate you doing this. It's been very fun.
Well, thank you, Neil.
Yes. Thank you, Sarah. We'll do it again. All
okay.
Right. Yeah.
Hi, this is Tyler Gallant talking about Rootwood. You're listening